Ego. It's a small word, but it carries immense weight. It's a powerful force that can shape our lives in ways we often don't even realize. It's a driving force that can propel us to achieve great things, pushing us to reach new heights and accomplish our dreams. But it's also a double-edged sword. While it can motivate us to strive for success, it can also lead us down a path of suffering and discontent. The ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. When we let our ego control us, we become trapped in a cycle of desires, fears, and attachments. We start to believe that our worth is tied to external achievements and possessions. Our ego tells us we need certain things to be happy: more money, a bigger house, a better job, more recognition. It convinces us that happiness is just around the corner, if only we can achieve that next goal. But these desires are often fleeting. The satisfaction we get from them is temporary, and soon we find ourselves chasing the next thing and the next in an endless pursuit. As soon as we achieve one goal, our ego sets its sights on the next. It's a never-ending cycle that can leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled, no matter how much we accomplish. This constant striving can leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. We may find ourselves wondering why we're not happy, even though we have everything we thought we wanted. Because true happiness doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. It comes from a sense of inner peace and contentment that isn't dependent on external circumstances. To find lasting peace and fulfillment, we must learn to manage our ego. We must learn to see it for what it is, a part of us, but not all of us. By recognizing the ego's influence, we can begin to free ourselves from its grip. We can start to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our passions, our inner growth, and in doing so, we can find a deeper, more lasting sense of happiness and fulfillment. Our ego can cast a long shadow over our relationships. When we're driven by ego, we're more likely to see others as competition. We may feel threatened by their successes or envious of their possessions. This can lead to conflict, resentment, and broken relationships. Ego can also prevent us from forming deep, meaningful connections. When we're focused on ourselves, we're not fully present with others. We may be so busy trying to impress them or get something from them that we fail to see them for who they truly are. This lack of authenticity can create distance in our relationships. In the professional world, ego can be a major stumbling block. When we're driven by ego, we're more likely to make decisions based on self-interest rather than what's best for the team or the company. This can lead to poor decision-making, conflict with colleagues, and a toxic work environment. Ego can also prevent us from learning and growing. When we're convinced we already know everything, we close ourselves off to new ideas and perspectives. This can stifle creativity and innovation. We must learn to check our ego at the door to be successful in our careers. Many people believe that happiness lies in achieving success, wealth, or fame. However, the pursuit of these external validations is often driven by ego. And as we've seen, ego can be a major obstacle to happiness. When we're constantly striving for more, we're never content with what we have. We're always chasing after the next thing, thinking that it will finally bring us happiness. This constant state of dissatisfaction can lead to anxiety, stress, and a feeling of emptiness. True happiness comes from within. Section 5. Spiritual practices for taming the ego. So how do we manage our ego and prevent it from controlling our lives? The ego, while a necessary part of our identity, can often lead us astray, causing us to act out of fear, pride, or insecurity. It can cloud our judgment and make us lose sight of our true selves. Many spiritual traditions offer insights and practices that can help. These practices are designed to help us reconnect with our inner selves and find a sense of peace and balance. They teach us to look beyond the superficial aspects of our identity and to understand the deeper truths of our existence. One of the most effective practices is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It means observing our thoughts and feelings from a distance, without labeling them as good or bad. This practice helps us to see things more clearly and to respond to situations in a more balanced and thoughtful way. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. This heightened awareness allows us to notice when our ego is trying to take control. We can then choose to respond in a way that is more aligned with our true values and intentions. This awareness allows us to observe our ego without being controlled by it. We can see our ego-driven desires, fears, and attachments for what they are, temporary and often misleading mental states that do not define our true selves. We can see our desires, fears, and attachments for what they are, fleeting mental states that don't define us. By recognizing these states, we can begin to let go of them and reduce their influence over our actions and decisions. Through mindfulness, we can start to detach ourselves from our ego. This detachment doesn't mean we reject our ego entirely, but rather that we put it in its proper place. We learn to use it as a tool rather than letting it use us. In doing so, we find greater peace, clarity, and fulfillment in our lives. Section 6. Embracing humility. Another important practice is cultivating humility. Humility doesn't mean thinking less of ourselves, but rather thinking of ourselves less. It means recognizing that we're not the center of the universe. When we practice humility, we're more open to learning from others. We're less likely to see ourselves as superior or inferior. This can lead to more harmonious relationships and a greater sense of interconnectedness. Humility allows us to see the good in others and appreciate our own unique gifts and talents. Section 7. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is another powerful practice for managing our ego. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or grudges, we're essentially letting our ego control us. These negative emotions keep us trapped in the past and prevent us from moving forward. When we forgive others, we're not condoning their actions. We're simply choosing to let go of the anger and resentment that are harming us. This act of forgiveness can be incredibly liberating. It frees us from the grip of our ego and allows us to experience more peace and joy in our lives. Section 8. Finding freedom from ego. Managing our ego is not a one-time event. It's a journey that we embark on, often without realizing it. The ego, that part of us that craves validation and fears rejection, can be a formidable opponent. It can cloud our judgment, distort our perceptions, and lead us down paths that are not aligned with our true selves. It's an ongoing process that requires patience, compassion, and commitment. Each day presents new opportunities to observe our ego in action and to choose a different response. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a moment to breathe, we can create space between our true selves and our ego-driven reactions. There will be times when our ego gets the best of us. In moments of stress or conflict, it's easy to fall back into old patterns of defensiveness and pride. We might find ourselves saying or doing things that we later regret, actions that are more about protecting our ego than about being true to who we are. We may say or do things we later regret, but these moments are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. By reflecting on our actions and understanding the role our ego played, we can learn valuable lessons. We can begin to see the patterns and triggers that lead to ego-driven behavior and start to change our responses. But the key is to learn from these experiences and keep practicing. Just like any other skill, managing our ego takes time and effort. It's about building new habits and ways of thinking that are more aligned with our true selves. It's about being gentle with ourselves when we stumble and celebrating our progress, no matter how small. As we continue to cultivate mindfulness, humility, and forgiveness, we create a foundation for lasting change. Mindfulness helps us stay present and aware. Humility reminds us that we are all human and imperfect, and forgiveness allows us to let go of past mistakes and move forward with a lighter heart. We'll find that our ego has less and less control over us. We'll start to notice a shift in how we interact with the world. Our relationships will become more authentic, our decisions more aligned with our values, and our sense of self more grounded in reality. We'll be able to approach life with more peace, joy, and authenticity. The freedom from ego is not about eliminating it entirely, but about finding a balance where it no longer dictates our actions. It's about living in harmony with ourselves and others, embracing our true nature, and finding joy in the present moment. We'll be able to live from a place of love, compassion, and connection. This journey towards freedom from ego is a path to a more fulfilling and meaningful life, where we can truly be ourselves and connect deeply with those around us. Section 9. A call to inner peace. The journey of managing our ego is a journey of self-discovery and liberation. It's a journey that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. It's a journey that's worth taking. Start today. Begin to observe your ego. Cultivate mindfulness, humility, and forgiveness. Embrace the journey of managing your ego. the rewards are immeasurable.